Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. So Sunrise Serenade challenge missions just dropped on the VN account. So we're gonna run through challenge mission 1 and discuss about the different mechanics you want to take note of and how to max out your rewards with my free-to-play account. So right here for the maximum rewards, you want to get an estimated point of 3,200 right here to get your milestone 1 and milestone 2 rewards. And you also want to get your hamster over here, origami hamster, with 3,200. So ideally, if you're free to play, you just want to secure everything, then you want to at least get 3,200 points. So for this game mode over here, you are faced against an enemy team with an ability or an artifact, which is War Drum right here, and then you're able to select the different enemy buffs to give you more points while powering up the enemy. So that's how this game mode runs. And with regards to the very first challenge, the enemies are Shakir and Tendra, Valka together with Mikola and Lenya. So individually, I think the scariest should be either Shakir or Lenya, because Shakir can be a little bit hard to kill and Lenya's pretty powerful as a carry sniper. And for this fight over here, one thing that you guys might have realized by now is that hero focus as well as the enhanced force ability, they're not in play. So that is something for you guys to take note of. But in general, I think this team itself, they have some melee synergy where all the units will face rush you and then Shakir transform, and a lot of these units will be able to benefit from the lupine aura. So that's for the enemy's team. But more importantly, I think the troublesome part is the War Drum, because this one allows all of them to teleport to outside of the battlefield and allow them to deal damage to units within one tile, right? So it's an AoE damage which is quite impactful if your units are close together. And if an enemy is hit by the control effect, they become unaffected and they get increased attack by 20%. So you don't want to use any control skills on them. You just want raw damage, raw sustain, and raw tanking for this stage because of this War Drum artifact or this ability right here. Okay, so with regards to the ability side of things, I'm gonna talk about my rationale for choosing the different abilities, and I'll break down my own teams. I'll talk about 2 or 3 teams that you can use for this fight and discuss about the idea of breaking this stage with the different mechanics and the different power-ups you give to your opponent. So disclaimer, if your unit tiers are not enough, you might not be able to clear the stage. So that's that. If you are trying to pit your epic unit against a Supreme Plus unit, yeah, you're gonna fail, right? But just take note that if you have, I'll say at least Mythic Plus or at least Supreme tier with sufficient stats to survive, with your allied buffs as well as certain powerful units to carry you, then you should be able to clear this stage with my strategy right here. So first of all, for the mechanic side, I chose a 3-1-1 combination. I'm going on the route of buffing up the opponent defensively and slowing down their offense, and then having enough sustain on my team to bring them down with my artifacts as well as my units itself. So for this one, we chose a 3-1-1 because you need 3,200 points to max out your rewards, and choosing the 3 top mechanics will give you 2,400 points. So you just need to choose one from advanced and one from step boost and you are pretty good to go. So that is with regards to the mentality. So you can obviously take out invading force. For the mechanics portion, right, Slayer Strength as well as energy on attack boost, they are okay to give to your opponent because one only buffs the stats when they're able to kill your team. So if you're not able, if they're not able to kill your team, then they don't get this stat buff, which is amazing for the extra points. And then energy on hit gives the opponent more spamming on their skills, but generally speaking, it's not as scary as giving them a whole bunch of stat boosts or a whole bunch of damage boosts. So out of these 3, right, I'll say these 2, they are the best to choose. Let's say if you don't want to choose invading force. So invading force is scary on paper because it increases the enemy's damage dealt by 70% when they're on your side of the battlefield. So this means that they will hit harder when they have this War Drum ability because War Drum teleports them to your side of the battlefield. So let's say if you cannot survive with this power over here, what I would suggest is taking invading force out and then using either the physical power or the defense penetration boost together with this basic stat boost one. So the reason why I didn't choose these 2 at first is because, right, I think for this stat boost, a 70% damage boost is way less detrimental compared to a defense penetration as well as a basic stat boost, because defense penetration also allows your opponent to hit harder, and on top of that, you're making the opponents tankier by increasing their overall basic stats by 20%. which includes their attack as well as their physical magical defense, which attack increase boosts their war drum ability damage output as well, which is pretty scary. So that's why to me, I'll say invading force might be scary on paper, but it only affects the opponent if they're on your side of the battlefield. So let's say if you have teams or units that are able to reposition, they're able to move out from your side of the battlefield, you can possibly negate it. But even if you can't negate it, I don't think that the 70% damage is increase is as scary as choosing 2 from advance or step boost. So you can choose these 2 as well, but this one gives your opponent 60% increase in physical power, physical damage. They're all basically physical attackers, and then when you combine it with one of the step boosts, either attack boost, which gives your opponent 25% more attack, or the basic step boost, which gives your opponent 20% basic stats, I think it's a lot scarier, right? When you compound the ability stacking of these 2 mechanics. So that's why for me, I chose the invading force for the top 3 mechanics, and then for the advanced side, I chose the life drain. So life drain fundamentally increases the sustain of your opponent, but at the very least, if you don't choose the other 2 advanced mechanics, which increases their damage output, you should be able to manage the amount of life drain that your opponent can get, and then from there burst them down. So yeah, we are removing all the offensive buffs, and even for the step boost, I'm choosing the very last one, which is defense boost, because like I mentioned, we're giving the opponent life drain. We don't want the opponent to have too much attack to life drain back too fast. So this is our idea of the different mechanics to give to our opponent to max out our own score. So this is the 3-1-1 strategy. And another thing, like I mentioned earlier, you can take out is invading force, and then you choose between one of these, throw an arrow for your own account, and choose the basic step boost. So this will be another way of thinking, but I think when you choose 2 of this, it's scarier than just choosing this one. So I did rather just choose this one, and that's my 3,200 points. And then for the allied buffs, I'm choosing the healing hub to give me increased healing, because I'm going to run a sustain team that's able to heal up and then burst the enemy from there. And on top of that, we are giving the Valiant Horn to give us the energy boost as well as haste boost at the start of battle, so that we are able to counter a stack ASAP. So this will be the different buffs that we have. Okay, take a screenshot and let's start the battle. Okay, so my units mostly at the Supreme Plus tier. So for this one, I'm going to take out Lily May. Idea is just putting a whole bunch of sustain with at least just 1 carry to keep you alive, and then have 1 tank to stand on the front line, and use the artifact Storm Strike spell to slowly wither the opponent down. So for I'll say Bonnie is probably one of the strongest unit with Storm Strike spell, and the idea of 3 sustain with 1 tank with Bonnie with Storm Strike should be able to melt the opponent after a while. So without further ado, let's showcase this team showcase. Okay, we're going to go at 1 time. So the opponent jumps to us, but like I mentioned, because we don't have that much stats buff, we don't have that much hyper offensive power from the opponent's team, we are able to survive with at least 3 sustain right here, and then burst the opponent down with Thunder Strike spell. So this is with regards to our skill, and you can see that Bonnie has the ability to move to the opponent's side. So if let's say Bonnie is the last one standing, then invading force can be negated because your opponent will no longer be on your side of the battlefield. So another team you can use with this exact same setup is the Mauler setup. So I'm going to do a Mauler setup right here for you guys. The idea is to not let the opponent kill you that fast. And for this one, you're not able to get your charm abilities, and you're not able to get factional bonus. So for this, we will go with a full sustain team, and we'll go with Shakir. And last but not least, a Coco. Okay, so for this one, we'll go more sustain heavy, and we'll go surging spec. And let's start the battle. Okay, so the enemy will teleport to our side. We have Shakir, which can transform, and then we are able to get the whole Mauler defensive package online with Mikola's heal, with Smokey, with Coco, as well as Shakir's Lupine Aura. So Shakir incidentally is able to always transform immediately if you have him at Supreme Plus with the EX weapon unlocked with the Valiant Force ability, because you will be able to get the initial energy at the start of battle more quickly to transform for that good Lupine Aura for your team. So that's for my team too. So this ability right here gives us the energy boost. And then let's continue with one more team. So we showcase the healers team, we showcase the Mauler team. Another team we can use is Light Bearer, because if you take a look at the opponent's team itself, right, you have Shakir, you have Entendra, as well as Mikola, which are all Mauler characters. So building your team around your, I'll say, like Mauler carries or Mauler good unit could be a way to go. So we'll go with Vala to target the Sinbad. go with this guy here, and then I guess we probably throw in a Rowan for the potion itself. Same thing, Surging Spell to give us defensiveness, and let's start the fight. Okay, so for this team itself, with the mechanics that we chose, we are able to survive decently well and then slowly wither the opponent down without triggering the step boost of the Slayer ability. So that's with regards to this boss fight over here, and that's pretty much it. The 3 different teams you can use together with the different mechanics that we chose to get 3,200 points. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.